Another important part about managing your Linux, Mint, Debian operating system is learning how to do backups for your data. Now, the Linux Mint comes with a program called a Timeshift, which basically will take a backup of your whole computer. If you configure it correctly, it will also create a backup of your home directory with all your data. And that's in case if you ever have a computer crash, you can restore those backups, and it allows you to set it up to where you can do this on a schedule. Now, for me personally, I'm more of in the past, I worked at a company where I was involved with doing backup and restore. And so I have my own way of doing this thing. I don't always care about using other people's tools. So I like to use a real basic tool that comes with a Linux, or if it doesn't come on your Linux, you can always install it very easily. It's a program called Rsync, 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 that you can install. And like I said, most times I think it comes with the computer or comes with the operating system. But if not, you can install it pretty easy. Once you have this on your computer, you can use this to do backups for on your local network pretty easily. You can back up your data from your computer to another computer. You can back up your data to a USB drive that you place into your computer. You can do a lot of stuff with Rsync. So here on the screen, we're looking at some examples that I've written down to kind of get you started, get you pointed the right way. These examples will help you to use this. Now I'm going to explain everything involved in this. This is customized to my own home network, so it might be slightly different on yours. But I'll show you my reasoning here. So these are Linux home user backups. We're going to be using Rsync for the command line. And my first example is to back up the data on my computer to another computer on the home network. So what I'm doing in this first example, is I'm taking the data that's in my home folder. I'm going to take all my home folder data and I'm going to transfer it across my home network to another computer and put it into another home user's folder. So this is usually my username on another computer. So the first word there you see is Rsync. And then you have some options, -AVR. I've always used these for a long time. So at some point in the past, when I was researching this, I determined that these were the options that I liked the best. And so I used these options. Now the next one, when you get the --del, that's important for me because I don't want to create a whole new full backup, or I don't want to put data on my backup that I've already deleted on my home computer. So what I want to do is I'm trying to do a backup it synchronizes what's on the source and the destination. I want it to be exactly the same. I don't want there to be extra data on the destination where I've done previous backups but stuff that I've deleted off my local machine. I want it to be exactly the same information on both ends. Now you can use this if you want to keep things in sync. But if you want to do backups where you continue to keep everything on your destination backup, even if you deleted off your home local computer, just leave off the --del. But for me, I want things to be in perfect sync because I don't want to waste disk space. Now the next option is -E, which you need that if you're going to set this up to do a non-standard port on the remote laptop or the remote device. I've set it up to where I've changed the port number on it for SSH. So Rsync is using the SSH protocol to transfer stuff across the network. So if I'm going to be able to get into the remote computer, I need to tell it what port SSH is using. So -E, then single quote SSH -P, and the port on the other end on this remote PC is 222, which that's a non-standard. That's not that's something I just made up. And then a closing quote, single quote. Now I'm going to tell it this is the data I want you to transfer. So that little squiggly line and slash and then the glob asterisk there is basically a shorthand way of saying I want to take everything in my home directory. So everything in /home/username, like that's my documents, my music, my pictures, my videos, everything that's in my home folder. So that's what that little shorthand of the tilde, then the / and then the glob asterisk. That's just basically saying take all the data in my home folder, and now we're going to transfer that to this user at this remote computer. So I give the IP address. So user @ the remote IP address, then a colon. Don't forget that colon after the IP address, and then /home /user / and that's going to dump all the contents in my home folder into the home folder on that remote laptop or remote computer. So we got rsync-avr-del-e /SSH-P222, which is just random, tilde / glob asterisk, and then user at IP address colon /home /user folder / and that will take everything in my home folder, and it's going to transfer it across the network to that other computer, and it's going to put it in the home folder. Okay. So the next example here is we want to take a backup of everything in our home folder, and we want to put it on a USB drive that we've plugged into our local PC. So once you plug that in, you need to find out where the USB drive folder is on your computer. Now, usually on mine, on Linux Mint, it's under /media /username /whatever, and I put the little asterisk there to get me into the folder on that USB drive. Once I'm sitting in that folder, then I'm going to execute the command rsync-avr-del, and once again, we're going to take our home folder and we're going to put a little dot there to indicate, that little dot indicates in the present working directory where I am sitting and on this USB drive, I want to drop my whole folder into this current working directory. That's what that dot at the end there means. So we're going to pull all of our home folder and we're going to dump it into the USB drive where we are currently sitting. That's what that dot. So don't forget the dot. If you move to that folder, you need to put that dot there. All right. So the next example here is pulling data from another computer on the home network. So we're going to CD into a backup folder in my home folder, and then we're going to pull the data of a user on this network over to my local machine. So it's rsync-avr-del-e /SSH-P222 quote. Now, again, that port number is just random that I've made up. Then the user on the remote computer at 190, your IP address /home/ the user that you're trying to pull the data from. Then that asterisk or that glob is going to take every folder in their home folder, and they're going to transfer it back across the network to my current working directory on my local PC. And so the dot there indicates I want to drop this into the backup folder that I'm currently sitting in. So it's going to take the home folder of that remote computer, pull it backwards across the network, and put it into the backup folder that I'm currently sitting in on my local PC. So that's how you pull data. We showed you how to push data across the network. We showed you how to push data to a USB drive. Now we showed you how to pull data from another computer back to your home computer where you're sitting at. So with those basic commands, that pretty much covers all of my basic needs for backups on my home network. I hope this information helps you out. Subscribe to the channel, share this video, like this video. Thank you very much.